Thanks for joining me on this journey of joy, grief, and authenticity. My name is Hilarie Houghton, and in today's episode, I want to talk specifically about the power of your presence. And if you know somebody who has lost a loved one or someone dear to them, the power of you just being physically present is undeniable. I like to say that your presence is your present. Because there are so many things you could do. You could send flowers, you could send cards, and all of those are wonderful, and I do not discredit those. But there is something really powerful about you physically being with somebody. Our baby girl, Hollis Olivia Houghton, died at 6 days old. And I remember the days leading up to her death and how many wonderful friends and family we had in the lobby with us, in the waiting room, just waiting to see if they could catch a glimpse of her or ourselves, waiting there so they could pray with our family and be with them. And it was so powerful, so powerful. I just recently learned that at one point there was 35 people in the waiting room, around 35 people throughout that last night of Hollis's life. And I didn't know that. I was busy loving on her, and I did know that there was an awful lot of people who'd come to see us, but I didn't know that they were still there, and they were waiting out the long night just like we were. And that's really beautiful to think that they were going to tough it out with us. This included everyone from family, which we live in Dallas and a lot of our family is in Oklahoma, and seeing so many family members come all the way down to see us and to spend time with us and to spend time with Hollis, that was so powerful. And so that was a big deal that they came all that way. And all of my siblings came. And I remember at one point wanting specifically to take a picture with my siblings because I just remembered how powerful it was that they were all there, and I felt such strength in their presence. This also included friends who came from Georgia and Austin and Missouri, and colleagues from all over the place, and it was so powerful. I also had some high school friends that came, Melissa and Elizabeth and Kelly. They all three came, and I got to spend about 10 seconds with them. And I wish I could have spent more time with them. I wish I could have introduced them to Hollis. And all of that, it all happened so fast, and I only left Hollis's side for a few moments at a time. And I'll never forget getting to see those faces. And the face of my friend Jessica Schaefer. She came all the way from Missouri with her family, and then she was also pregnant at the time. Everything was emotional, extra emotional for her. I feel like it was also really powerful for my family to see them there, and for my family to get to interact with them, and all these people that have meant so much to us. All those worlds collided. And I love that. I love knowing that and seeing it in action. We, of course, also had a lot of local friends and church family members that came up. And even if they weren't physically there, they were with us in spirit and prayer. And it really meant the world to us. I will never forget Hollis's funeral and how many beautiful faces showed up that day. And my husband and I were so adamant about getting to interact with everyone who came. And it still means so much to me. And there were so many people there. There were so many friends and family. And like I mentioned, our family is from out of state. So that meant a lot. It was not easy for them to all make it. And so many colleagues. We had colleagues from, my husband had colleagues from Nebraska and Oklahoma, and I had colleagues from Houston and all over Dallas. And it meant the world to us. And I also had in my Leadership Richardson class, I had been pregnant throughout the whole course of the program, Leadership Richardson, and there was 42 classmates, and almost every single one made it to the funeral that day. And it's so precious to me. My family cherished their presence as well. So every time somebody would come through the line to shake our hand and hug us and love on us, my parents got to see how many people here in Dallas are here supporting us. And that whole Leadership Richardson class came through the line, and it meant so much to us, especially because it's hard to come to a funeral. It's sad. And I really appreciated that so many people were able to stick around that long to wait in line to talk to us. And it was really precious. We also had so many friends from our church here, and our neighbor came. Even our nurse, Jill, who helped deliver Hollis, she came to the funeral. My chiropractor came to the funeral. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. One of my favorite memories is our old pastor, Stephen Partrick, came in from Georgia, and his wife, Megan, and Megan sang throughout part of the service, and it was beautiful. During some of Stephen's comments, he pulled out his cell phone and he took a photo of everyone in the audience so that we could always remember that moment and remember the support that we have here. And I cherish that so much. I get out that photo and I look at it a lot, and I sometimes am resisting the urge to post it on Facebook and tag every single person in that photo because it means so much that they were there. And my siblings specifically, they sang a song called Beautiful Things by Gungor, and you can hear a little clip of it in the opening of these vlogs. And my sister and my two brothers, they had not heard that song before, and they learned it over the course of a few days, and it was beautiful. It meant the world to me. Their presence meant the world to me, and that song was such a huge gift. And I'd like to note that you can't always be physically present, and that's okay. And I have been so blessed by the people who have been present in a whole nother sense. People who have sent us cards and flowers and gifts, and they have donated towards research for Hollis's condition that she died from. We have received the most amazing things. I've decorated her room in swans, and so I love that so many people have sent me swan items, and I cherish that. And to me, that is you being present and just being here for me. You know, a lot of times whenever people are in the presence of someone who is grieving, they don't know what to say. And they even say that. I don't know what to say. And the good news is you don't have to say anything at all, because your presence is your present. And a lot of times people aren't looking for you to say anything at all. Sometimes people think that they'll try to relate to that person, and it's really not necessary. Just you being present is all that they need. Sometimes you can be that person to just listen. And sometimes it's a long conversation because they have a lot to say, and all my friends know that that's very true. But I've really appreciated the endless hours that my friends have listened to me talk, and now some of you are listening to me talk. So many times whenever people are around somebody who has lost a loved one or is grieving or is just heartbroken over anything at all, this is so applicable to just listen, to be present. And you can be, like the Bible says, slow to speak and quick to hear. And that's exactly what people need more times than not. I believe it is the best thing you could do for them, is just to be present. And again, your presence is you're present to them. Thanks for joining me again on this journey of joy, grief, and authenticity. And if you'd like to comment below, I would love to hear your thoughts on how maybe somebody has been with you throughout a difficult time and how they've stood by you and their presence was a gift.